Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry that I didn't do a album review sooner for this new album review. I was mostly busy going out and running some errands with my mom or whatever, so it was a little bit of a busy morning for me. So I'm returning to you today for the new Papa Roach album, and this is for Ego Trip that I just got done listening to for this new Papa Roach album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this new Papa Roach album, Ego Trip, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now, overall, what did I think of this album? Well, it's got its good points and its messy points. And majority wise, I think after Kill the Noise, which was one of my favorite songs last year, you can definitely go check out my best songs of 2021 video if you haven't seen it, because it made it at the top of the list as one of the best songs. But it wasn't the best song of the year, but it was still in that list because it was that good of a track. So Kill the Noise is still getting a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed that song, and Jacoby Shaddix's scream in it with the shut up lyric is actually very enjoyable. And it's an enjoyable listen, so 5 out of 5. Then comes Stand Up, which I heard back in January of this year. Worst fucking song on the album, for sure. It's probably the worst song on the album. I still will give it a 1.5 out of 5. I couldn't stand this song. It was so annoying. And it drags on too long. I noticed when going back and listening to it again for one or two more times, while listening to this album, of course, I just had problems with this song, with how he says sweat, 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 stand up, stand up. And then he starts rapping, and it just doesn't execute very well with his raps. Jacoby Shaddix's raps. It just doesn't sound good sound wise. And mixing wise, it's all fucked up of a song. So 1.5 out of 5 for stand up. Swerve is another bad song. Couldn't stand it. Swako's rap is just so monotoned and so annoying. I can barely hear what the guy is rapping, honestly. I hear it some of the time, but it's like his voice is all uh, monotone too much. And 2 out of 5 for Swerve. I couldn't stand this song. It's so annoying. Then comes Bloodline, one of the regular songs on the album. Didn't like it. It sounds annoying too as well. There's one annoying part towards the end of the chorus, the "we can't go outside" lyric, uh, or whatever, and that certain section with the electronic work and the drum work in it, it just is ear grating to me. So 2.5 out of 5 for Bloodline. It's a little better than Swerve, but not execution wise. So it's a disappointing track. Liar is the next one, and I found it to be okay, but there's some areas in the song where it's kind of messy, in my personal opinion. So, Liar is getting a 3 out of 5. I think Jacoby Shaddix doesn't sound bad in the chorus, but it's just the raps and the execution of how he's delivering his vocal potential in the verses does not do it for me. So 3 out of 5. Ego Trip is not bad. It's okay at least. So 3 out of 5. It's the title track for the album, but there's moments in the chorus where I kind of like it, and then some other moments where I'm not sure if I like it. So Ego Trip's getting a 3 out of 5. Unglued was actually not too bad. It was decent at least. It was a little bit better of a song. I think when you get towards the second half, closer to the end of the album, that's where the album progressively does very well. So I got some complaints with the beginning of the album, but towards the end of the album it gets much better. That's what I'm gonna end it off with, somewhat of a positive note. Uh, Unglued is getting a 4 out of 5. I don't mind it. It's just some of the raps in it are fine to a degree, but when it comes to the chorus, that's where it sounds really good. So 4 out of 5. Dying to Believe, it's still getting the same rating of a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely go check out my track review for it if you haven't seen it. I think you'll enjoy it. Killing Time is another song I don't know if I like, because there's some ear grating annoyingness where Jacoby Shaddix just repeats himself a few times during the chorus of the track, and it kind of gets ear grating, where he says killing my time, and all that, and I'm just like, your point is, with the repetitiveness, you kind of need to slow it down a bit. Leave a Light On was a pretty nice song. It's very mellow, so you're in for a mellow track, but it's solid, so 4.5 out of 5. Always Wondering, very good track. I really liked it. It was probably one of the stronger tracks on the album, along with No Apologies and Cut the Line. Those were the best songs on the album. So is Kill the Noise. I think Always Wondering, I like the mellowness in the beginning, and then it picks up towards the chorus, and it sounds pretty good with Jacoby Shaddix regularly singing. When he does his normal vocals, with his clean vocals and his singing, it sounds good. Sometimes the screams are not bad, but it just depends on the execution uh, and the delivery of the screams. So No Apologies is this 12th track on the album, and that was a pretty good one too. I really liked it. It's before Cut the Line, which is one of my favorite songs on this album as well, along with Kill the Noise. And Always Wondering and No Apologies were probably the strongest tracks on the album. So 5 out of 5s for Always Wondering, No Apologies, and Cut the Line. And finally, we get to the last song, which is I Surrender. Couldn't stand the scream at the beginning. It was with the get down thing or whatever. I don't know if I felt for it. It just, it surprised me. I was like, what the fuck? Kind of shit. So, it's still not a bad song, but with the delivery of Jacoby Shaddix's vocal potential, it's not bad, so 4.5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution, this album was meh, but still the delivery towards the end of the album was probably the strongest part of the album. So this album kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to suck. And to a degree, I should have given it a lesser rating. But for what it went for, it's a meh album. It's going to be on my okay to meh albums of 2022 by the end of the year. So overall, I think Papa Roach Ego Trip is a meh album. Definitely give it a shot if you're a fan of Papa Roach. Because I will say one thing, there are maybe 5 to 7 tracks on the album, maybe 8, that I kind of liked. The others are a little messy. Not to the degree. I think the strongest tracks were around 4 to 5 out of 5 ratings. 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 ratings I gave certain songs. Those are the strongest tracks. Maybe not Unglued that much, but it's decent. So for a score for me, I'm giving Papa Roach Ego Trip, the new album, a 6 out of 10. This was meh. It just, there's some delivery in Jacoby Shaddix's vocals towards the end of the album that is the strongest part to close this album. And the closer to this album is not so bad. So you're in for an interesting album, but not the best album from them. So they kind of need to work on trying to not do cringy songs. So that's just my opinion, at least. But comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Papa Roach album, Ego Trip, if you've heard it. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 in my opinion. It's a meh kind of album. I was going to give it a disappointing rating, but due to the other songs kind of surprising me towards the end of the album, I kind of enjoyed it. Uh, the ending to the album was more enjoyable, and so was Kill the Noise. I think my favorite songs on here are Kill the Noise, uh, Dying to Believe, Leave a Light On, Always Wondering, No Apologies, Cut the Line, and I Surrender. So maybe half the album's alright, and the other half is a little cringy. So, yeah. Like I said, if you did enjoy this album review for Papa Roach Ego Trip, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will have another review coming out for Camila Cabello's Familia album review, so definitely tune in for that. It's going to be the next album review I do, and then after that, might do some track reviews for newer songs, so definitely stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this Papa Roach Ego Trip album review. Keep in mind, it's just strictly my opinion on what I thought of this album. It's not the best album, but it's a meh album. So, yeah, stay safe. Stay safe. Sorry if I slurred my word for a second. Take care, and as always, I will see you in my next review.